Here's Left 4 Dead in 3 minutes. In October 2009, a highly contagious pathogen known as the green flu breaks out in Pennsylvania, turning people into aggressive mutated zombies. The game follows 4 survivors who are immune to the virus. Bill, a veteran who acts as the group's leader, Francis, a cynical biker, Zoe, a college student with a love for horror movies, and Lewis, an optimistic IT analyst. Their journey for safety begins in the city of Fairfield, Pennsylvania during the campaign No Mercy. The group finds themselves on a rooftop, fighting their way down through an apartment building and into a dark subway system to reach Mercy Hospital. They successfully signal a news helicopter from the hospital's roof and are airlifted to safety. However, their escape is short-lived. In Crash Course, the helicopter pilot is revealed to be infected, and the aircraft crashes into a street. Shaken but alive, the survivors navigate through an urban area and an industrial yard to find a new escape vehicle. They end the campaign by getting into an armored truck and driving away. Their journey continues in Death Toll, as they arrive in the quiet town of Riverside. The truck has run out of gas, so they must find another way out. They fight their way through the town's streets and a police station to reach a boathouse. They make contact with a fisherman who agrees to take them downriver. The campaign culminates in a desperate fight at the boathouse, where they must defend themselves until the boat arrives. After being dropped off by the fisherman, the group finds themselves in a bombed-out city during the campaign dead air. They hear a radio broadcast about a final military evacuation at a nearby airport. They battle through construction sites in the airport terminal to reach the runway. The finale is a tense battle where they must refuel a C-130 cargo plane and board it under a constant assault from the infected. This hope is again shattered when their plane crashes in a rural, wooded area in the campaign Blood Harvest. The survivors must travel through a forest, a train depot, and a cornfield to reach a farmhouse. They use a radio inside to call for a military rescue. The finale requires them to defend the fortified farmhouse against waves of infected until a military APC arrives to transport them to a safe zone. After the events of Blood Harvest, the 4 survivors are rescued by the U.S. Army and brought to a military base called Millhaven. They are tested and discovered to be carriers, infected but immune. However, the military's leadership is skeptical of their accounts of special infected and refuses to evacuate. Seeing the growing danger, a doctor and some soldiers at the base help the survivors plan their escape. An alarm eventually draws a massive horde of infected. The story of the original 4 survivors concludes in the sacrifice. The campaign begins with the survivors at a military base that has been overrun. They escape and make their way by train to a port, hoping to find a sailboat and reach the Florida Keys. The only way to get the boat across the river is to raise a large industrial bridge. However, the bridge's generator breaks down just as a massive horde of infected and a tank appear. One survivor must go back to restart the generator, a mission that is a certain death sentence. Canonically, Bill sacrifices himself to restart it so that the others may reach safety.